This is how industrial motors are controlled in real world, not by directly connecting them to power, but by precisely controlling the motor speed, direction, and frequency using a variable frequency drive. Welcome to the third video in this industrial automation series. In this video, we're going to understand how VFDs work. We will understand the VFD-S series architecture and basic wiring. Then we will use those to control the three-phase induction motor directly with the help of the VFD. No PLC here, VFD will directly control the motor. Then we will understand how to control the VFD using PLC. In this part will be further, deep dive into this part in the next video where we will actually do everything to write a ladder logic program on the PLC and configure parameters on the VFD so that the PLC can control the VFD, which in turn controls the motor. Finally, we're going to run and test VFDs and induction motor in real time. By the end of this video, you will have a foundation knowledge of how VFDs are actually used in industrial applications to control motors precisely. Let's get started. Before we understand the VFD's architecture, we need to understand why we needed the VFD in the first place. So VFD, or variable frequency drives, are industrial electronic controllers that is used to control the AC motors with precise control. That's the minimum definition that I could give you. So we needed VFD for precise control because you will never want to connect the AC motors directly. You want precise control for industrial applications. So in a complex industrial applications, you need those VFDs for precise control, or in other words, energy savings as well, because they helps you to ramp up the motor speed gradually and not starting at the maximum speed, right? That helps the wear and tear on belts and gears. So mechanical protection is also there. And the main application, the main purpose is obviously the precise control, right? Let's now understand the VFD's architecture before we can use it to control the motor. So, as an engineer, I say that you need to be able to read and understand the data sheets and user manuals. Since we are using a VFD-S series, so we definitely need to understand how this VFD actually works, what is inside, what are the features of this VFD. So let's jump right back into the architecture. So this is our VFD's architecture. The first thing is the main supply, the main power. Since VFD runs on a three-phase, so you can connect a single phase as well. If you want to control VFD using a single phase, you can do that. In that case, as you can see here, if you only are using this VFD for a single phase, then use any RST terminals, any of those two. Other than that, if you're using it for three phase, you connect the three phases directly to the RST terminals. And RB and RC for protection if the power supply gets turned off automatically, and you don't want that in a industry, right? In a factory, in applications, you don't want that. So for that, we use these two terminals. Other than that, we have M0 to M5. These terminals are used by the PLC to control the VFD, and we will learn that part in the next video, right? So we have got these terminals. Other than that, we got this potentiometer here. Don't confuse that with the potentiometer on the VFD. This one that you will actually connect to the VFD externally to give it analog input voltages from 0 to 10 volts. Maximum current should be 4 to 20 milliamps. So that potentiometer can later control the speed of the motor. Then the motor, the three-phase induction motor, is directly connected to terminal 1, 2, 3, and we have that a ground is given as well. Other than that, we have an analog output. We have that on the trainer, and as you can see here, So this analog output can be generated by the VFD. It could be of 0 to 10 volts. So you can generate any frequency within this 0 to 10 volts, right? That's great, right? Isn't it? Then we have multifunction indication output contacts. You can use them, and obviously you can program them with the PLC as well, right? So then we have got the photocoupler output. We can use that as well. And we have the serial communication for RS-485 communication devices, interfaces, and you can use that to control the HMI, which we will learn later as the video progresses, like as the series progresses. So the architecture is quite simple, isn't it? Since the VFD is directly connected to the motor on our trainer, we can use it to control the motor directly. But before doing that, we need to understand and learn how to configure the parameters of the VFD. So for that, we go back. We need to go to chapter number 5, the parameters. We take a look at some of the parameters that needs to be configured before controlling it. So the first main parameter in the group 2 is the 200, which is the master frequency. Like if you want to control the speed of the motor, this is the setting that you will need to configure. As you can see, the factory setting is by default to D0, right? So that means that the arrow keys of the VFD will control the speed of the motor, as we will see in this video. This is the factory setting. We don't need to change that. But if we want to use the potentiometer of the VFD, the potentiometer is also there on the VFD. So if we want to use that, we will just change that 200 to D3. And then the potentiometer can directly control the speed of the motor. Other than that, we have 201 that controls whether the motor is running or is it a stop, or whether we need to run it in forward or backward. 201 is the main setting for that. So the factory setting is D0 again, which is a digital keypad. That means the stop button of the VFD will stop the motor, the run button will run the motor. So D0 factory setting, no need to change that. But later on, as we progresses, in the next video, we will learn these two for 2-wire and 3-wire controls. And yeah, that's it. So as of now, I will show you how to configure. Like, we don't need to configure it at all. As you can see, the digital keypad will directly control the motor, run and stop buttons, and the speed of the motor by default will directly be controlled with the arrow keys. So we don't need to change anything, but I'll show you how we can configure those parameters. So let's jump in. So we click on program data here, go to number 2, then click on program data again, 01. You can see that the factory setting is default to D0. We'll keep that because we don't want to change it. We want to control the motor directly with the VFD.
So power is given to the VFD. Now if we just open it up like this, induction motor is connected to this VFD using UVT. As you can see, the wirings here, this is a 3-phase induction motor, so U, V and T of the induction motor is connected to terminal 1, terminal 2 and terminal 3 of the VFD. So its wiring is done, and it's the common of the induction motor. So wiring is done for you. We don't need to wire the circuits. Now we can control the induction motor using this digital keypad here. If I press run here, the motor will start at 50 Hertz, which is the default frequency of the AC main input in Pakistan, obviously 220 volt and 50 Hertz. So the motor is operating, as you can see it here. The motor is running right now. If we are going to if we need to decrease the speed of the motor, we can press this down arrow key As you can notice, the motor speed is constantly decreasing. We can decrease to 0 because factory setting is 0 to 50 Hertz, so we can, as you can see, the motor speed is decreasing. And now you can see it's very slow. We can increase it to okay, we can stop it using pressing the stop button here. We can stop the motor as well. So this is it.
In the next video, we are going to control the VFD using PLC. We are going to configure the VFD for 2-wire and 3-wire controls, and we will program the PLC for controlling the VFD.